This was the first time Baki awakened the Oni no Se, demon's back. There were no extra movements, but the muscles on his back bulged like a demon's face. Just moments ago, Baki had been slammed to the ground by Oriza. Most people wouldn't have been able to get up, but Baki felt comfortable. It was as if he had been transported back to the fight with his father 5 years ago. Back then, he had also been dominated by Yujiro. The feeling was the same. After being hit, there was a sharp, intense pain. This was actually Baki's brain strengthening his body. He suddenly felt his body melting, turning into liquid, flowing like a puddle of water. In the end, Baki actually bounced back up from where he had been. The first one to notice the change in Baki was the prison guard. Where Baki's back had pressed down, there was a face-like imprint, and his posture was strange, like that of a samurai. At this point, Oriza also noticed the change in Baki and started sweating profusely. His muscles bulged, and he lunged at Baki. 1 second Oriza was charging forward, and the next he was on the ground. Fortunately, there were surveillance cameras on the scene. When the footage was slowed down 100 times, it was clear that Baki had made his move before Oriza even started to act. Oriza's fall was visible, but Baki's movements were too fast to see. Oriza only realized now that Baki had mastered the 0.5 second gap. Normally, when someone plans to move, their consciousness acts 0.5 seconds before the body. Baki, however, had trained himself since childhood to eliminate this delay. But Oriza wasn't afraid of this trick anymore. In the next second, he transformed himself into a spherical shape, looking like a pangolin. Baki cautiously approached and attacked, but was bounced back. He threw another punch, but it had no effect. A few seconds later, Oriza grabbed Baki's wrist, then stretched his body out like a giant mouth and bit down on Baki. Baki struggled but couldn't break free and was squeezed inside. Then Oriza spat him out. Oriza returned to his normal state and was congratulating himself when Baki humiliated him. Oriza flew into a rage and stomped on Baki's head. He followed up with a flying kick, but as Oriza was about to unleash another deadly move, Baki countered it by inserting his fingers into Oriza's nostrils. Oriza never expected such a bizarre move and slapped Baki away in retaliation. At this moment, Baki proposed another type of duel. But then the boxing champion shouted, "You weigh 100 kilograms less than him. Brawling is suicide." But Baki had already made up his mind. And so, the two strongest men on earth began to brawl. Faced with the fierce exchange of blows, Oriza was pushed back step by step.